time is it? 6:01. Oh yeah, we're going live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Northwest Arkansas BMX podcast, show number 24. And of course, your host, Arthur Andrews. And we are back for some hot, steaming topics over the weekend. Holy cow! What is up, beer budget? First one on the chat. Wow! Man, oh man, what a weekend, guys. Holy cow. Just got off of Legacy Nationals, and man, there was so much hot topics over there this weekend. It was unbelievable. There was more hot topics over there than a district mom coming out of Porta Potty 6. I tell you what. But first and foremost, like every show, thanks for the big supporters, Beer Budget BMX podcast over there with Rick Carter, Mike Melvin. Awesome podcast on Sunday nights. Check them out if you already haven't. All Things BMX, Justin Tompkins, Chris Beers. Awesome podcast on Wednesday nights. Check them out. Great guys. Going Rogue BMX podcast. Awesome podcast down in Eastern Texas. Dan Donnell down there, they do a great job. They're always on right after my podcast here. Check them out after this one. I don't know if they have a special guest tonight, but they did like a interview with a track operator a couple days ago, and that was a really good interview. I really enjoyed that. BMX Breakthrough with Jay Oaks. He's going to start cranking out the shows here in the next couple months, hopefully. And, man, yeah, the last few shows I got to watch of his, incredible. I love his detail with, like, what he wants to show, what BMX is all about. It was awesome. Of course, thanks for the Jones Center and Runway Bike Park, always an awesome facility to train at. Of course, we don't have a track just yet. So, of course, all the riders here in Northwest Arkansas goes and trains at the pump tracks. Man, fast guys down the street. But anyways, yeah. Awesome facility altogether. That's where we're having our vintage bike show and pump track championship in October. So, you guys are planning to be there. Hope to see you guys there. AOS Squared, Cord Bierman, Charles Bierman, awesome guys. They do a whole lot for me here. They do a whole lot for the show. So a big shout out to them. NWA BMX. So we got a little move on that. We're going to be up there sitting up on the booth for Bentonville Bike Fest. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. So, yeah, hopefully we have some news pretty soon for that. Hopefully in the next month and a half. And then, of course, the sponsor of the show, Feed the Flock 365. If you're in the state of Arkansas, you're looking for a food truck for your event, go find Feed the Flock 365. Tell them Arthur sent you their way, and then let's get on to the show. Man, so first and foremost, like, who went out and raced this weekend? You know, how did you guys do? I know there's a lot of people that went to Hardesty for Legacy Nationals, big races out towards the West Coast, Ah, oh, don't get me started with Royball, man. Oh yeah, I finally got to meet Al Royball, which he's going to be our announcer here at the Straight Rhythm for Bike Fest, and man, yeah, gonna hook him up, gonna show him around the area. Uh, it's gonna be a fun time. Bike Fest weekend's gonna be so much fun. Finally got off work for that entire weekend. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be so fun. Um, I know I got plenty of people that's gonna be up here. Yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be a really fun event. Can't wait. Just getting to talk to Roy Ball for a little bit before his son went and raced. That was awesome. Yeah, he's a cool guy all the way around. And I did ask, I did tell Roy Ball, hey, yeah, you know Rick Carter? Roy Ball said, you're the most craziest person on earth. So, yeah, yeah, Roy Ball's pretty cool. So, yeah, Legacy Nationals in Tulsa, action packed weekend. And man, well, the only day I got to go was Saturday because like I had to work Friday and I had to work yesterday. But Saturday I finally got to go out and do a little bit of racing, see where I'm at. I haven't been on the 20 inch and since beginning of February, since Show Me State, and you know I got back on the bike. Kind of felt weird. Fixed a couple of mechanical things on the bike, got out, man, I was in the mix. Even though I had to race the faster guys down in the 1720 inner, man, I still kept up with them. Not like what I did at Show Me State. What's up, Donnell? Welcome to the chat. Man. But yeah, Saturday was nuts. Of course, moto counts were pretty high than the last 2-3 years I've been going to Legacy Nationals. So like Friday we had 141 motos. Saturday we had 157. It's a little bit more than what there usually is. I mean, well, the last couple of years it was like 140 for a Saturday. So I don't know. People were just coming out to enjoy the action. And then of course yesterday 140 motos. That's a little bit higher than typical for a Sunday. Um, and man, you probably seen my post was that either yesterday or Saturday night about this, but of course, be aware of all district moms and national moms when they go around a porta potty, especially porta potty 6, because you never know if the doors are going to get blown right off of the hinges. And man, I just got pulled in Saturday morning for practice and just set my stuff up. Was going to, kind of take a look at the track since they just resurfaced Hardesty. And of course, I walked up to 3 of the porta potties going towards the track, and the door was just completely off the porta potty. It was not halfway off, it was off. Oh, the concessions. We'll get to that here in a second. Um, of course, because there's some barn burners that's still kind of lit with some of the riders around here. So I think that would be kind of the cherry on top a little bit later on. So I was gonna put this as a show question, but like because I got to experience this firsthand, and like I find it kind of ridiculous. So like, should there be on-site registration at a national, especially on a Saturday morning? Yeah, I mean we get the online registration till 7 o'clock, But should there be a hour registration on site? We had a new family, well, sort of a new family that just started BMX back in January. And of course, they went to Show Me State. They signed up way ahead. They knew they were going to go. But they didn't know if they're going to show up at Legacy Nationals not until the night of, and they were on their way. They got there way before 7, went to the registration. They wouldn't open the windows. Of course, when the clock hit 7 o'clock, even before 7 o'clock, they couldn't even get online to register. So, like, it's something that it kind of bothered me. Like, hey, these guys are here to give USA BMX money so they can race. Yeah, exactly, Rick. And like, they didn't open up the registration windows. I even went up there. I was like, hey, this family's brand new, guys. Like, they don't know, like, any of us that's been in nationals for years or been in the sport for so many years. They don't really know much, you know. And of course, they got turned away. And I went up there and asked a couple of the officials up there. There was nothing that they could have done about it. Yeah, not trying to name names, but like, guys, that really like ticked me off so bad. It That's why when I text Rick, I was like, hey, we got some hot topics coming out of Hardesty this morning, and I just got here. So yeah, when plans change, when you're not expecting to go to a national, then all of a sudden last second, hey, we're leaving early in the morning to go to the national, just 2 hours away. But can we sign up at the venue? Man, I mean, one of them is well known for around Hardesty. I don't think it would be right to spread names out there. Just well, the thing is, this guy's a good guy, but he was kind of being a douche, just a little bit, and then it kind of felt awkward throughout the day, just seeing him around. But yeah, it completely upset me. But I even asked some other riders around, even locals that's been to the nationals, going to the nationals the last couple of years. Of course, I've only been to a couple every year, maybe. Show Me State and what was that? Grants, and that's it. But I pre-signed. I pre-signed way ahead, expecting, hey, I'm going to show up. I'm going to go race. But of course, new families, they don't know that much better than anybody else. But yeah, that really kind of set me off on Saturday morning, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. And a lot of people that I talked to, uh, they disagree what USA BMX did. So yeah, it's a bad thing on them. What's up, Justin? Heck yeah. Welcome to the chat, Justin. All things BMX. Oh, dang, you're so buzzed out. What is this? The story's out of Porta Potty 7? Conspiracies continue. Oh man, you guys are crazy. Justin, Rick, you guys are crazy. But yeah, yeah, that really left a bad taste in my mouth from USA BMX. Of course, I couldn't say too much because I had, I'm the one that organized side hacks for that afternoon, and like I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to put that race into jeopardy um, when I'm trying to fight for one of our riders from Northwest Arkansas. Murder Mitten Stores. Hey, hey, he's right, Rick. The minivan crew chose you. But yeah, yeah, there should be on-site registration for Saturday. I get it for Sunday. They're trying to make sure the races go as quickly as possible so everybody can start traveling back home and everybody can start packing up at the venue. I get it for Sunday. But for Saturday, I mean, there was on site registration when I first started going to nationals in 2016. Of course, they had practice. They had a different age group practice back then. Then they took that away back in 2021 after Mid America. And then, of course, they got backlash. Everyone was upset. There was a lot more people stopped going to nationals because there wasn't practice on Saturday. So what do? They bring in practice, but they split the age groups so they have enough time to say, okay, we're gonna end signups at this time, then post motos while all the practice is going around. But like, yeah, I just find it really ridiculous that USA BMX would turn away a rider just because they were there way before online registration was closed. So, I go back to this thing because I've been watching the pretty much the dark side of BMX. Yeah, you have your organization, you have the goods, and then you have the bads. I've seen both sides to it all throughout the years I've raced. Yeah, yeah. So USA BMX, of course, the backlash that they got from nationals, uh, they have practice on Saturdays. So with that being said, like I think it's was that was it 16 and under, and then 17 and over, or something like that. I think there's like three different practices that goes on Saturday mornings. The BMX ATMS for Greg Hill. Well, but yeah, like that was yeah. It was just mind blowing to see USA BMX not really taking money. I've always seen the good side and the bad side of USA BMX, and of course they play the game of Monopoly. That's every organization out there. I mean, you got Walmart, you got JB Hunt. That's all the locals. Tyson as well, and then of course you got others out of state. Yeah, USA BMX might be one of them, but you know this is what I always thought of. So USA BMX wants their money. Granted, of course, if you give them your money, you get the race. The good side, well, I meant you get to see the smiles on little kids' face. That that means a lot to a lot of people than like the money. The money is more of the bad side of USA BMX because like they try to just get more money out of everyone's pocket. But like I said, yeah, doing it all for the kids, parents, especially factory parents, they usually they're a little bit more too aggressive with the sport. Even if the kid gets seconds, factory parents will still some, and it's a very small majority that I've seen throughout the years that will yell at the kid just because they got second. Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's a little something coming in the near future, hopefully in the next 2 years from what I've been hearing. So hard to see better be counting their days because a lot of riders will be coming over to Arkansas more than Hardesty. Trust me. I don't know. And that goes into like something else I will talk later about that, I I never thought I would hear the words, but like yeah, that'll be a little bit later on in the show. So I had that on the topic board. But yeah, let's move on from the whole thing that happened Saturday morning to like, dude, Friday night, Cam Larson gets poked. Polk shows up and he is riding strong. He's having a good season so far, so let's see if he continues that towards Grands and might be taking the title away from Wood. I would like to see a different person, besides the same person every year. I mean, it's just like WWE. You don't want the same title going to the same person every year, every WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, so on and so forth. You want someone different. You want someone that is upcoming, fresh. Last year, Polk was a rookie. This year, he's really getting his feet wet. What is up, Kirk? Welcome to the chat. But Drew Polk's on fire. He was on fire all weekend long. Even even the French guys came over because I saw them in the parking lot. Dade, Kennedy, Seiya Saki Kabara. She was there in the parking lot. Seen them a few times. Even the heavy hitters that we're all used to seeing on the track and beating everybody else. They were kind of having a hard time with Drew Polk. So, and Cam Wood, I didn't really see him until Saturday. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Of course, Coffee Chatter, I seen their post, was that Thursday night, Friday morning, of like all the things that could go right. Of course, one of them was Peyton. Peyton took that win on Friday. Big win for her on the home track. It was just awesome because she led that gap and she was gone. No one would catch her. Of course, with debuting the Chase jersey, being on the team, Chase team. You know, it's really cool to get to see that. You know, all the hard work that Peyton has put in for the sport as a pro, not being truly on a team, sort of co-sponsored, but like that's just awesome. Yeah, of course, Saturday, Saya wins in the women's pro group. Isaac Kennedy wins in the men's pro, which that was fun to watch. All the French guys. Drew Polk sitting right there. I mean, he was knocking on everybody's door. But yeah, it was cool getting to watch the pros. Um, I don't get to watch the pros a whole lot because of the flow sport thing. I don't like it. Yeah. Peyton had a tough one, but like I said, Friday was it felt more of an easy day, but Saturday was the real deal. Sunday was sort of the real deal, but yeah, Saturday was like completely action packed with the women and men pros. I didn't really care too much for the futures, I guess. I mean, I the only guy I would watch from there would be like Corilla Brown and Marshall Gerke, and that's about it because race Marshall Gerke, run into him from time to time. Got to talk to him this past weekend. He's excited for Bentonville Bike Fest. So yeah, it was a tough one for everybody. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens throughout the year. You know, of course, Peyton Ridenauer being the women pro here in Tulsa. I'm excited to see what she can bring to the table the rest of the year. Uh, it's just all being consistent on being top three, and then going to grands and just win it all. So, but yeah, talking about like the pros and stuff. If you guys haven't seen it yet, yeah. So one thing I kind of took away from the futures class, it was like what four to six motos. I mean, there was a lot of future men up there. There was just a lot. They had quarters, they had semis. It was nuts. And of course, like I got to watch the men's quarters of the futures men's uh, because, of course, we had side hacks. If you guys haven't watched the video I posted on my personal page or the side hack Mid South page, check it out. We had side hacks at Legacy National. I've always thought about like how could we get back to the grassroots of BMX. It's called Legacy National because it's right there in Tulsa. It's at the USA BMX headquarters. Of course, the BMX National Museum. And so, and there's a few of these side hacks that are sitting in the museum. You get to walk through the museum, get to see them. But it's really cool when you have the side hacks show up at the National. It's called Legacy Nationals. So, of course, I have like a 2 or 3 week turnaround to get as many side hacks I can. Chris Luna gave me the green light a little bit late than it should have been, but hey, that's all right. We were given that green light to race side hack. So we had 3 side hacks up there, and man, of course, it's the same side hacks. We battled each other all year last year, the year before. This was more like a cakewalk, have fun. the home national, and we usually race at Hardesty, so that was a bonus for us. So I'm very I was very excited about it, and of course, uh, new pilot for Chicken Wing. She was filling in for Maddie Baker, and you could see on those girls' faces that like they were nervous, but they were ready to take the older guys on. So that was kind of cool getting to see the girls' club on the side hack. Um, Man, it was all fun all the way around. Battled down the first straightaway, couldn't make it stick into turn one. You know, I was playing catch up all the time. But Team Mediocre was out there just having a blast. We were all having a blast, and this is something that I took away from us just the second we stepped on the gate. Of course, the crowd can kind of see the side hacks while they're watching the feature men's quarter main. They saw the side hacks on the hill, but as soon as the gate lifted up, we stepped on that gate. The crowd went so wild; it was amazing. You know, you don't get that much energy in the crowd like what we did. And you know, the only other time that I've seen that would be Sand Springs is last year when Sand Springs stepped up and did the Intergalactic Side Championship. The other one would be of course, there was Pro Spectacular at Grands. You know, a lot of energy there, a lot of people, but it was just the energy in the crowd was so incredible. It outdid the pro quarter main. I mean, you could hear it in the videos that were taken. I don't know if it's going to be shown tomorrow. I didn't hear it in the audio. Hopefully, it's in there. There was a lot of pictures taken of the side hacks. So hopefully that makes its way to the pool magazine for next month. But yeah. And of course, like I said, there were when I went back through and I listened to the audio on my way back home, I didn't see I didn't hear anything about side hacks racing. It just went into a montage to the BMX museum, which like I'm all great with the whole museum, but the main reason is to bring in the side hacks, hype up the crowd, turn the volume all the way up for the amateur main events. You know, not just the pros, but the amateurs. So, you know, I was kind of disappointed about that. I think we should have more side hacks at more nationals. The more side hacks at more nationals, I think the more hype for it going to Grands would be it'll be way better than it is already. Yeah, I definitely agree, Justin. Like I kind of felt like there wasn't that many men pros. Well, when I was there Saturday, it didn't feel like that many men pros. It felt more like more future men pros than like anything else. What's up, Rick Dollarhide? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you over there. Hard to see last weekend. Bringing all the guys over there. It was totally a blast. It was a complete surprise for me. I was just glad that local guys that I ride with here in Northwest Arkansas that don't really race, but came over and chilled at the headquarters. Finally got to watch me race. Can't wait to have have the track and have you guys out there watching. Yeah, Miss Kitty was awesome. Always loved chatting with her, getting to hang out with her. But yeah, yeah, like going back to the pros, like I didn't really think that it was that many pros. I mean, I could be wrong, but like I didn't really think it was that many. You know, of course, the girls class, that was a small class. What women's pro had the what two gates, two full gates full of women pro, but yes, yeah, Justin, I definitely 100% agree that with the motor counts like kind of going down at nationals, there should be side hack races, like USA BMX. Like they don't have to require it, but they should have that out for an option for the venue. Like, of course, I get that the inside venues, some of them are smaller than usual. Example, Vegas. Vegas is the smallest indoor track build on the circuit. But you have other tracks like Legacy. You have tracks in Texas, Rock Hill. Like there should be that option should be out there for every national. And the side hacks, they're growing. You know, you got Hack Shack out there building the side hacks out on the West Coast, but of course you have other side hacks scattered all over throughout the country that I think there should be an opportunity for the side hacks at nationals. There should be a national schedule for the side hacks. Nag your national plate. Add that to the list. I think that would be really cool. That'll be something for the little kids to enjoy during intermission. Hype. USA BMX needs to learn how to hype the races up. Side hacks are a big one to bring in to hype up the crowd. Yeah, nine right women pro man. I thought there was more than that, but like I could have been wrong there. But of course, like I would be hearing. I didn't get to watch a lot of the women races, but like I heard Mackenzie out there, Peyton, um, uh, Laura Reynolds. Yeah, it was just a small handful, and of course, it hasn't been the same since what 2016, where we had Elise Post, Brooke Crane, we had, what's her name? Oh, she was she was Grand Marshal at a car race not too long ago. No, not car race, motocross race. But anyways, yeah, like the women's classes went down in the last 10 years. We're seeing the same thing with the men's. I mean, yeah, they took away A Pro, and then of course you have Double A Pro, and they just switched it to Elite Men. Yeah, hey, Justin, I agree too. Like Side hacks should start at the local level, work their way up. That's where we're at right now with, Torker doing the whole side hack races the last couple of years. I mean, going from the local level, and heck, we went right to the national level this past weekend. Like, it hyped everybody. It even hyped up the local riders that loves and enjoys watching us race. So that that was really special for all of us. That was up there on the side hacks because that was kind of more of a home track advantage. We get to have and showcase what we're getting ready for at Coop Fest here in a few weeks. I mean, of course, USA BMX start try to do like the dirt jumper class, the mountain bike class. Yeah, they're trying to get more riders in from that side of cycling, but is it really? Are they really that desperate for riders? I mean, they have the school programs. School programs help a lot, and I've seen that firsthand in Tulsa with Bixby, Jinx, Sand Springs, a couple of schools out of Tulsa. The school BMX in schools are actually helping the sport grow. I didn't really understand that at first, but the last couple of years, I've been watching Sand Springs grow their riders from the schools. It's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, the dirt jumper class didn't really get advertised as much. I know we've been talking about it here when we get our track opened up at the end of summer about adding the dirt jumper class just for the fun. Of course, we're talking about side hacks, the pit bike class, bring back the 16-inch pit bike races. Um, of course, that's one of the things that Guy Cooper's that I really enjoyed. But yeah, like the dirt jumper class wasn't promoted. I mean, look for example, a few years ago we had the Stasic bikes entering the chat with, of course, taking out the side hack slot at Grants. Was that 2023? And huge GoPro. Awesome. So yeah, like yeah, they need to grow the sport in a different way, and you know, Northwest Arkansas, everyone knows across the country, Northwest Arkansas bike, mountain bike mecca, mountain bike capital of the world. We have mountain bike trails here, bike parks, and whatnot. Yeah, that would help us in a sense of having that mountain bike class. But in other places, Louisiana, Mississippi, that wouldn't really help them out that much. But like out towards the West Coast, they have mountain bike trails. They have pump tracks. They have everything else, similar to what we have here. That would help in a sense. But like I said, it would help us so much here in Northwest Arkansas. Oh man, hey, you said it, not me. But yeah, huge shout out to new team manager Jay Oakes. He uh, he gave us a BMX breakthrough number plate to put on the side hack. So that was that's really cool to see. Customize the number plate the day before we even raced. So that was a huge thing that he did, and big shout out to him. You know, he's the last 3 weeks I've been on the team. He's really took care of me. He's making sure I have everything I need. So yeah, big shout out to him. I think he's going out to Dirty Fest. So Rick, you might actually see him out there. Of course, went and raced the national. I, I held my own. Of course, I had to race the 1720i class, and they're as fast as I remember. Being in that class is no joke. It's like racing the expert class. But you know, I stayed in there, took a fifth. At the end of the day, I felt pretty good. You know, taking that fifth, even battling in third place at one point. I felt pretty good about that. Oh, dude. Honestly, I really enjoy having the old school plates. I'm just a big vintage BMX person, but I, I think the BMX breakthrough stuff is pretty cool. You know, it has the skull and the number plate, this and that, but like, you know, Jay Oakes has done a great job. You know, he's starting to build up a team. I think he's going the right direction. But yeah, of course, we had Dan on the show last week. Uh, he called in and we talked about the side hack race in Shreveport coming up in June. Of course, cash prize. Guys, if you have side hacks and you're living in the Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri, the surrounding areas of Louisiana, guys, load up your side hacks. If you have one, get down there. It's going to be a fun time. but, uh, but yeah, like that. That sounds like it's going to be a fun race down there in Shreveport. I'm going to be there with the side hack. Of course, my monkey won't be able to go down there with me. So Dan's going to hook me up with a monkey down there. We're just going to have some fun. And of course, I want that first place cash prize. Uh, you guys are crazy. Justin, Rick, you guys are absolutely crazy. But yeah, I forgot to say that the the call in lines live. So if you guys want to call in, Facebook Messenger into the page chat, and yeah, that line's open. There's a couple other things like that I didn't really get to talk about with the whole Legacy Nationals, but you guys seen on the Pool BMX Facebook page of the Vet Pro Racing. That was absolutely nuts. Of course, Saturday morning first round action, Barry Nobles gets knocked off the turn and into the fence, and like Of course, everyone like me thought, hey, this is going to go down probably the worst way possible. I thought he was really going to throw down some fists. Barry's a short guy. This guy was tall. I was like, jeez, Barry, you better back off. But, you know, I got to watch a little bit of his video, and but yeah, yeah, Nobles. Jeez, yeah, he cleared the air though. Like totally cleared the air about like, hey, it wasn't much of a big argument. He had a little bit of beef with the guy. Oh well, but you know, he thought that was the best place to do that. So he's a class act. So, but, but yeah, yeah, not a whole lot. Oh, I did say I was going to add this to the end of the show notes, but the concessions. I don't know if you guys seen the no holds barred post. Some guy was upset because uh, there was a long line for concessions, this and that. I seen the line. It was long, but the thing is, that's no reason to just go on no holds barred and just like dog the entire crew of volunteers working, trying to pump out all the concession food. Like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, and then of course the track operator of Hardesty, Jacob Nelson, comes, sort of apologizes, but he did it in the most gangster way I've ever seen a track operator do. Like, he's like, if your feelings was hurt, come by and get a free popsicle. Um, Man, I can only bring one hat because I mean, if I had my other car that I used to have, I could probably brought three, but like I can only bring one in a small car. But yeah, man, the concessions, that was just that was so fun to watch. Uh, Especially when Jacob Nelson got on to No Holds Bar and started just screenshotting some stuff off, some images off of the security cameras. Be like, hey, we got you. Yeah, we know who you are because you're the one holding your phone up, taking pictures. So, hey, I've asked all the teams around here. Uh, of course, Torker, they're going to be at 30 Fest. That's a hard turnaround for them to do. Getting back from Dirty Fest and then trying to make that's kind of hard and difficult for them. Some of the teams up here, they don't really want to drive that far just just for side out. But of course, I've been putting the word out there to all the other teams um, that's been there at the side act shows at Grants. So I'm trying to do the best I can there. So, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, besides, Coot Fest coming up in a couple weeks. That's gonna be fun with the side hacks. Um, and then the SE ride out May 29th through the 30th in Tulsa. If you want more information, contact my friend down there in Little Rock, Drew Roller. We'll get you hooked up. We're going to be out there for a couple days riding out. Bentonville Bike Fest is coming out. I know there was a lot of conversations with that today. Um, in particular, our track having a booth set up with USA BMX and the hyper bikes. Of course, 8 Degree Pedal is going to be there. Captain, Marshall Durkee, Huffy and Hyper. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on. So we, Justin, taking the win in the 41 to 50 Cruiser. Heck yeah. Congrats on that win. So, yeah. I don't have too much other in my notes for tonight. But like I said, man, what a weekend even though I was there for only one day at Legacy, it was so long, but really cool. Get to see, of course, porta potty door being broken into, door just laying there, to drama, action, security camera footage. That's It was a weekend in Tulsa for sure. It was more tense than it usually is. So I could say. Of course, people jumping on No Holds Barred, just complaining about a lot of stuff. Well, there's going to be complainers everywhere you go. So, anyways, I'm about to jump off here. Of course, we got Going Road BMX podcast on in an hour, 8 o'clock. Check them out. They're going to be having some stuff going on tonight. The podcast is always awesome. So, yeah. That's about it for tonight. Unless you guys have some other cool hot topics to bring on to the show. Yep. Cool. Thanks, Rick. Thanks. I'll try to do my best on this show. Of course, we're coming up on 1 year anniversary of the show in July. July 10th, I think. July 10th or 13th, something like that. It's pretty close to that. So, of course, we're going to do some special show for that. It ain't going to look like Beer Budget with the party in the background, beers just lining up, but What's up, Amanda? Getting on the chat a little bit late, but hey, that's all right. You're here. But yeah, we'll do something for the 1 year anniversary. Of course, I got the big 2-part show coming up here in August. That one's gonna be fun. I absolutely can't wait for that. So those two that 2-part show is gonna be very special because I never know if I'm gonna be doing a show like that again. So that one's gonna be really cool. Can't wait. I think that's August. I want to say it's August 1st and August 10th. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Of course, like I said, our traveling show starts at Coop Fest. So that'll be in a couple of weeks. We'll travel to Coop Fest instead of running the Monday after Coop Fest. We'll do it a show that afternoon. Well, probably that morning of Coop Fest. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for tuning on, and really enjoyed being on here. Can't wait to see what next week has in store. You know, a lot of hot topics. I know the next couple weeks are kind of a little bit dried up. Don't have that many events going on. Of course, next week, not this weekend, but next weekend, the state qualifier at Sand Springs. Sand Springs, that awesome track, awesome everything else. But anyways, guys, thanks for jumping on tonight. Go check out Going Road BMX podcast here at 8 o'clock. Dan Donnell, they do a great job. I cannot not say it enough, but they do a great job with their podcast and just starting this year. So they're off to a big roll. So, anyways, hope to see you guys next week, and I'll see you guys in the chat for the Going Road BMX podcast. See you there.